All right, we're going to call this the hack and cough session. I've got a cold from Florida. Thank you very much, Florida, as it typically happens when I come back from the PGA show. You know, shaking hands with everybody from everywhere. Somebody had something. Or that, or it could have been the 37-degree weather in Florida. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to talk about day 3 at the PGA show and something I didn't put in there because we just got it. We're going to take a look at some of the new Callaway driver. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Why is it What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats. I am no different. It's about what's in my shop in there, not from 2,000 miles away. At least it felt like it. And we talk about golf club repairs, reviews, and fittings. All so your scores can go low. So we'll get this out of the way. It's going to be one of many. It's going to be one of many, guys. Sorry. And before you get started on me, look at that. I got my Augusta Yeti, and it's got hot tea and honey in it. And it's really hot tea. And for those of you guys that are telling me I need to put bourbon in it, there it is too. So I'm hooked up through this thing. So hopefully the voice stays. It's just a matter of whether my snot stays with me. All righty. So day 3. Day 3 is typically a very nonchalant day. Most people are already cranking it down, meaning that they're pulling up their boost to the point. Callaway, we went over there to go visit them one last time. I'd say 2/3, if not more, of their booth was already tore down, ready to go back home. But that's stereotypical, though. Now, the best part about this is, the best part about this is the smaller ones, smaller companies, are there till the end, just in case that one last person comes through. And good on them, right? Good on them. Much like when we went down the new Inventors Row, when I got that little thing, that guy from Sweden, stuff like that, right? However, Rob and I call it freestyling, and we found out some more stuff. Now, this isn't the thing, but it's close enough. So this is Flight Scope, and that's the X3 to be sure. However, the Flight Scope people have a range finder now. It runs right around $400, and what it does is it attaches itself to the Flight Scope app, okay? And what it does is if you go to a place that has like a Mevo Plus or an X3 or something like that, and you go in as a listener, that's we got one that's the operator, one that's a listener, and you get in there, it will take your data and then give you club selections based on how you hit, if you did like a gapping session. And it will give you club selection based on that. Now, of course, I say that, and the very first question is, well, what if I don't have a Flight Scope and I don't go there? Fair not. What you do is if you know one of your clubs and you know how well it works, and you put that in there, it will figure it out for you, and eventually it will generate up more. Now, the other part of this is that it also gives you some environmental data, which has always been when they started putting this stuff in there, I'm like, yeah, environmental data, great. If I'm shooting a pin and you're telling me I got a 5 mile an hour crosswind where I'm standing, what good does that do you at the green, right? So what this does is it attaches itself because the Flight Scope goes to wherever you're at and gives you regional weather. So temperature, humidity, and breeze, and not at that particular point, but at that area. So you're not always guessing on what you're looking at. So is it perfect? By no means, no. But if you wanted to know what you're getting into, then sure, it does a pretty good job. There's a lot going on in the display. And it does slope up and down. It does slope up and down, and club selection. There's a lot going on in that little ocular area, and something, if you're into that kind of thing and you want just a little bit more precision, that could be something to look at. All right. Went back and turns out if you go look at the commercial, and there's a young Asian man that's doing the whole looking through that kind of thing. That's the guy I talked to purely by coincidence, and he took me through the whole thing. It's pretty good. All right, the second thing, and the very first thing that we walked up onto was a thing called bucket golf. I am so intrigued by this thing, bucket golf. Now, for, in an area where cornhole reigns supreme, this thing would be very, very cool. And I also have I've got something here I want to show you on bucket golf. So give me a second here. We'll do this. We're going to talk about bucket golf. How'd bucket golf get started? This is my first swing of the day, so this is going to be fun.
All right, I'm excited to see it. So yeah, bucket golf got started about 7 years ago, and just us playing in our backyard, trying to find a way to play more golf, pretty much.
Right.
And yeah, started playing a couple rounds of it, and just realized how much fun I was having. And then also, not only me, but like my family's not really a golfing family. And every single one of them also loved it, which was kind of weird. They don't like golf stuff. And yeah, at that point, kind of figured like, all right, it should probably be a real thing for
California,
everyone to be able to play like this.
Almost got 3 out of 3 going around the corner there. Not too bad. So how big of an area does something like this take off? If you wanted to set up like a 6-hole course like you got, how big of an area does one, because we're only this far away. This is actually what, 4 or 5 paces. So, and I mean, does somebody get ridiculous and go, let's set one up for like 30 yards or something like that?
Oh yeah, people set up like pretty crazy holes. People go like maybe along this hole, like a 50-yard hole. The ball will go about 40 yards-ish, maybe 50 yards.
Right.
So no longer than that. But yeah, you can set up a 6-hole course, 9-hole course in your backyard with not very much space. Like you can cross, the holes can cross over.
Oh yeah,
make
forgot
some
about
short
that.
holes, make some long holes. But yeah, you don't need much space. But you can also stretch to a lot of space too. If you want to go out to a park where there's like a ton of room, make the holes really long, spread out. Like you can kind of do it as you see fit, or set up something like this if you really have no space, just like a little pong setup, like chipping game like this.
Just the fact I'm having success at it is like, it's a done deal already. But the cool part about it is it's much like, from where we're at in Ohio, cornhole is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. And this would be golf's answer to cornhole, honestly.
Exactly. We are trying to be the next cornhole.
So does where does one go if somebody's not at the show? How does somebody find bucket golf?
So if you are not at the show, you can find bucket golf on our website. It's bucketgolfgame.com, and we have all of our options. Anybody can get in there. And then we're also in a bunch of retail stores throughout the country, like Shields, Dick's Sporting Goods will have our stuff next month. So yeah, you can pick it up in a store too, or just come to our website and we just ship it straight to your door as well.
So we got the other part that Tyler was telling me about was, you have your standard kit, which is just what you see over here, and then you got your light up kit. I thought it was a display. And he goes, oh no, it's part of a kit that you can put in here, and you could actually have nighttime golf. I see a lot of whiskey involved in that one.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Oh yeah, nighttime golf is a blast.
Nighttime bucket golf. That has all kinds of different kinds of repercussions on that one.
It does. It's fun.
That's pretty cool. So very cool. So hey, something that doesn't take up a lot of room. Some that's not. It's limited flight because it's not going to go more than a couple, 30, 40 yards, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has fun. You could put this anywhere. You could just literally have some fun. And so it counts if you hit it or if you jam it in there, just like I was doing.
Yeah.
I was throwing it into the back.
Yeah.
Very cool. So are these things? Last bit of it.
So the flag sticks usually go down in the middle and stab down into the grass.
And that keeps the bucket there.
Just on turf, though, obviously you can't go in. So just put it on the back. For here, but yeah, usually just straight down in the middle.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So if you got something that you like, this is the way to go. Bucket golf, and get the whole family involved. that you like, this is the way to
Okay.
go bucket golfing.
So that was Bucket Golf. I just thought that place was it's not very expensive, and it can be a family thing. I was watching a video and there's people actually playing it on the beach. This thing can go anywhere. The reason why I thought it was so cool is I got this giant rectangle of a front yard, and thought, well, you know what? That could be a lot of fun out front. Hell, I got a whole driving range of 16 acres in the back. I can lay out some seriously neat stuff. So that's where we're going to go with that. Okay, another thing is, did some other searching around. And again, I like going over some of the stuff I really liked. I really like that little scooter where you can sit down. Looks like a skateboard, one of those rider skateboards, but I think for the older generation that may not have all the balance and might get tired, I think that's just a wonderful thing. I wanted to show you. So I show you this picture because I just think that this show was well attended, right? It was well attended either on the first day and the second day. Third day is a gimme. You just don't go. But I got to see some stuff. I got one more little video for you to show you how fun it was on that last day. Matter of fact, let's go do this now. No, we're gonna keep going. So here we are, Mrs. McGolf and I. That's the PGA thing out there in the back. So we went from this on the beginning of the day to that at the end of the day. All right, last thing is Daphne's head covers. Daphne's head covers has been there since its inception. I don't know anybody that doesn't know about Daphne's head covers when they go to this place. And as you can see, they just got all kinds of different stuff. You know, they got elk and hot dogs and whatever, the shrimp. It must be a one of those. What's with the V8?
Tomato juice.
Yeah. What's the drink?
V8.
Yeah. What is it?
No, I don't drink.
What is it? Me either. Anyway, one of those. I'm trying to figure out what it is with the V8 and I think it's tequila or something like that.
Okay.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Got it. And then this year's motif was animals, as one could see. You got the leprechaun down there in the bottom, but for the most part, there is all kinds of and another giant hot dog, but all kinds of different ones. So, and I swore to myself, if I found that, I told him, I said, if you would have had that Starship Enterprise, I would have bought it. But they did not. All right, last one, and then we'll get to talking about other stuff. Now, this one was on our way out. We wanted to visit our friend at Star Grips again. I want to get more information on the new grip and play around with the air. So hold on a second, and here we go.
Okay, got to get ready. Got to get psyched up for this, right? Got to get psyched up for this. All right, here we are at Star Grip. Anders challenged me to make sure we see what I could do. He said his best is 3 seconds. It's off and on. 329, right? 329. I'm not going to get 329. Let's see. Is this a left-handed grip? I just want to know because I'm a left-handed guy. Is this a left-handed grip? We got that?
That is a handicap.
Okay, are we ready? Is it just a matter when we get started here? Here we go. We're gonna do this. I do like this new grip. So let's a little bit before we get started. This STX, I like that. Is this any special kind of pattern, or is it just?
Yeah, we developed that we had a lot of testing done. And it turns out this pattern here is so good in wet conditions.
Okay.
It's not too aggressive. It is pretty aggressive, but not too aggressive. So it kills your hands, but so still there's some softness to it. But it's works very well in wet.
Yep. When I first got a hold of it, I thought, man, this feels just a hair bigger than standard, and I was like,
it is.
I really kind of like that though. You know, that's a good feel, right? I like that whole that whole setup. And I do like this new kind of I've been calling it tie-dye kind of vibe on those things.
We call it the swirl.
The swirl.
Kind of swirls when we do the injection molding.
Yeah.
Kind of make the two-tone colors.
Yeah, I do. I like those. I like the green and black because I'm a green guy, but that was just the way it is.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, here we go. You got a practice run here or what? All right. How you do? Oh, here we go. That's going to be the problem. Coming up.
6.8.
Oh, that's pathetic. We can do better than that. 6.8 on the trial run. All right. Are we ready? All right, let's try it again. Yep. Wow. That was even more pathetic.
7.8.
Jesus God, man. What happened here? What do we got to try? What am I doing on the going back part of it?
Well, you go on your hand so that let the air just push it back.
Yeah, you can take
Oh, I got that part. Yeah. I got that part. It's this part that's killing me. I figured it out. Okay. Alrighty. My last attempt of all. We ready?
Yep.
1. There we go.
Pretty good.
I figured out the technique, the squirt technique.
That's the first right now.
There we go. Five. I'll take 512. Alrighty. So, Star Grip has the what we'll call the pro models, and I tell you what, the tack on this, because I put a set of the red ones on mine. And after a whole season, I still have yet to get rid of it. Get rid of the original feel, right? That's the something else part. So I really like that one. And the unsung one, this guy right here, I like this one here, just in the white.
Yeah.
I just think is just a super duper one. And then again, I like the different colors. But the new STX is the aggressive one. That's pretty cool. I do like the feel of it now that I've got it on a...
Yeah, it's +4 grip, so it's got a right-handed.
Oh, so it's a little thicker on the right hand?
Yep.
All right, I like that too.
And all our grips the material is completely sealed, so water cannot stay in the grip. It doesn't absorb any water.
Oh.
Moisture, which is the case of almost every other grip because of the material. So that's why it's always possible to wipe these dry. Right. If it's rainy, you can wipe them dry and do get dry.
And get that?
All grips doesn't do, they don't get dry. I mean, they get like this sort of almost greasy kind of feeling to them.
Okay, yeah, right.
Staying in the grip. So.
Right. Very cool. Well, I like it, man, and I'm glad at least I got my time to 5-1. I'm on the leaderboard of 1. Oh, that's awesome. All righty. Anders, always a pleasure meeting you every year. It's always a good time. And we'll take...
So the new Star Grip is called the STX. And the STX has this, it's a much more coarse, we'll call it tact or design, because the stuff doesn't get sticky and it doesn't get, if you clean it up, it doesn't necessarily get super sticky. But as one thing I learned there, Anders said that it doesn't take on water. That was kind of different. Now, if you guys remember me talking about it, this is a EDPM rubber. It's the same rubber that the weather stripping in your car is made from. So it doesn't get crunchy and all that other stuff, and that's probably the reason why it does what it does. Now, I asked him about what they call the swirl. I call it the tie-dye, and he told me that it costs 10 times more to make that grip than a standard color. And I have no idea why. Maybe because of the way you got to put the two colors in. I have no idea. In order to make sure that they stay together, there must be something onto that. So anyway, we ended up trying to leave early, and of course we did. Went around and saw the tech stuff. Obviously, the simulator boom has been felt, and it had its own area this time, and there was huge amount of people there, just tremendous. Did not make it to Titleist, and it was funny as we were talking. I was trying to get Cobra to talk to me, and it did not go very well. So needless to say, me talking to Cobra is probably never going to happen. And what we did is we came home after we stopped at the booth. We said, "Hey, this guy needs to call me." I handed him my card, and he calls the shop line here in Ohio. I'm like, "All right, whatever, dude." So we're done. I'm drying up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to show this because my cousin gave me this. Check this out. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. Make golf great again. This thing is hilarious. Yeah, I wish I could do a Trump voice. There you go. You're a great putter. Da 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 da. Believe me. For my cousin JP, did me a solid. This will find its way onto one of my favorite hats. I guarantee it. That was pretty cool. All righty. Onward and upward. Stuff. We got new stuff from Callaway. As much as everybody's been beating it to death, we got it. And this is how they come. This is what's going to be on if you buy one, this is what's going to be on there. The AI 10X face, the most advanced design driver face designed by AI. All right. So let's take the first one apart. See what it looks like. There we go. It is not nuclear grade plastic like a lot of other companies put on here. Okay. The first one is the Elite Triple Diamond. And if you look at it, there it is. To me, this looks a little taller, but we'll see according to the other ones. This is the bottom of it. What is that? It's got a scratch on the bottom. I have to buff that out. It came with a scratch on the bottom. Elite Triple Diamond. It's got two weights, one in the back, one in the front. And I believe the one in the front is heavier, so it's a spin killer. It is a fade bias, so it's slightly open. This one's going to run you $649. That's without any upgrade stuff in it. Oh, top end, very shiny. You can see my light in it. Very shiny. This is the only one that's like that. They separated it out because apparently they had a huge amount of success with the Triple Diamond. And since it's a tour option, they made it more. All righty. Let's do another one. So, here we go again. Now this one is the standard model. This is the regular Elite. Hey, look. No, oh, is that no, that's not a scratch. That's just the paint. I thought that was the scratch. But that's this is what this one looks like. Of course, you see there's a weight in the front. That's helped spin killing. And then what they've got here is the place where instead of the slider, you'd take it off here, make it draw bias, take it off and put it here, make it fade bias. Okay. Now, and again, there's the face. If you look, I bet they're quite different. Hold on. There we go. They are different. A little taller. That's also another thing to help kill spin. Okay, so we got that. And the top is not super shiny. Okay, not super shiny at all. And it comes with there's a little bit going on the bottom with the Elite and a little bit of the Callaway thing there. A lot of people have been saying I just saw a review, and it was a review of reviews, and they said that they did not like the look of the Elite. And I'm just like, how can you not like the look of this thing? I just don't understand that. I mean, if it would have had a whole lot of green in it, yeah, I'd have been disappointed too. But it's just got just enough in it. It's got just enough in it to be interesting. Everybody's like, oh, I got to have mine all blacked out. Why? Why would you want to do that? You're probably the same guy that's got like the most funkiest head cover too. So, I understand why a little bit of color isn't your thing. So here we go. Here's another one. I got two left. This one and another one. These are getting harder and harder. All right. This is the Elite X. The X is typically the draw bias. And if you look, it sits here, and then there's one here, not one up here, which means there's a hole. By the fact that there's not one sitting here, that means that there's more weight down here. And if you can get a look at it, it actually sets a little bit closed at address. Not a lot, not gross, just a little bit. And again, it's got the same look and pretty much about the same face. Now we'll compare it to the other Elite. This is the standard. That's very close to the same, right? Now keep in mind, these are all made with the AI in mind. Here you go. These are made with the AI has been designing these. So these faces are getting better as they go, okay? And what they're doing here is, and I got to talk to Mike Verska, who is a good buddy, and he explained that they did a lot of testing on aerodynamics again. Now, last time I heard him talk about aerodynamics, I thought it was just ginormous flop. And so far, what I've seen is from people testing it, including there's a fella in, I believe he was Australian, but he's living in Ireland now, Alex something. Anyway, he does a lot of testing. And anyway, he was doing it, and I was watching the numbers in particular, and the advertising is going to be 8 yards longer. Now, I also think that's going to stay in the fairway. All right, that's the other part. But 8 yards longer, that's a hell of a brag based on what's going on out there. But here's what's happening. Because of this, they took a little bit off in here with this piece right here. And then there's a little bit in here, and then a little bit in here. You can see where it dives right about here. What that did is it ended up giving the average golfer 2 more miles per hour. Okay, 2 more miles per hour at a minimum. So for me, it's 2.5 yards per mile per hour. So I'm looking at 5 at a minimum. These guys are saying 8. So some may get more, some may get less. But this is the last one. This is called the Elite Max. And look at that. There's another. Oh, no, that's paint. I thought it was a scratch. That's damn paint. Here I thought it was a scratch. What a goober I am. All right, it looks like a lightning bolt. Anyway, it says Max right here, Fast Max. And if you look, another face. The face on this one's a little different. Now, what's the deal here with this one? It's a lighter club head, okay? A lighter club head than, say, the Triple Diamond for sure. I get this one here. And there they are. And they are a little bit different. The Max is a little bit different face as well. So and I measured it just before coming on, and it was, it's easily 10 to 14 grams lighter, depending on the model. That's a lot. That's several swing weight points. Several swing weight points. And so because of the idea, you're going to have a much lighter shaft, a much lighter grip. The total weight's going to be light. You're going to get the aerodynamics, and you're going to swing it faster. Now, if you're an aggressive person, you're absolutely going to hate that club because it's too light. But if you're a person that is aged, that swing speed may have slowed down a little bit, and you're a smoother swinger, it might be something. But for me, huh?
Aged?
Aged. No, just aged. It is a very sophisticated way of saying that. Okay?
Wouldn't want to offend
Unlike you. All right. So anyway, what I see that is for the people in their probably their late 60s to in their 70s, just trying to reclaim a little bit of swing speed, trying to get into that. And they'll come in a variety of lofts, and the adapter hasn't changed. So you'll be able to go +2, -1, draw, neutral, standard, that kind of stuff. Now I did get the irons. I'm going to wait on another day on that one. I'm going to wait on that one another day because of I want to get some testing in after this goes away, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about it next Monday, or you'll see something from there. All righty. Last thing I wanted to tell you, Mrs. McGolf reminded me, I put it out there on Facebook's, Instagram, and I wasn't able to put it on YouTube, but we got see if it'll come out there. There it is. We got 7 million views. That is crazy. That's a huge amount of views in my book. So we're actually doing something right out there, and I thank you guys for watching. So now let's go answer some questions. All right. John says Myrtle Beach is now open. They took the tarps off the green yesterday and today, and it was wet. Well, John, the day that we left, every day that we were down there, it was between 35 and 55. And the day that we were leaving on there, the minute we were crossing the damn border going into Georgia, it was well into the 60s and sunny and pleasant.
Still snow on the ground.
And well, then we got into Georgia, and for all that want to hear this, we got into Georgia, and the roads were cleared off, and they were still working on the shoulders because Georgia probably has about 5 trucks because they don't normally get this stuff. But there was still clumps of snowballs. They're easily a foot in diameter, just lining the roads about, 10 miles into Georgia. It wasn't very far at all. I'm trying not to be gross, but I'm trying to keep it out of my system. All right, Emmanuel says, hello, Jim and Rob and all you gearheads around the world. We all know Jim is a genius, but today I used his collar ferrule hack for the BB&Fs, and it worked brilliantly. Well, thank you. Well done. Phil says, happy Monday. Finished a cold and wet 18 at Pinehurst number 9. I don't know if that's ever a bad thing. How'd you shoot it? All right. Manuel said epoxy the collar in, let it dry, grind it down, clean out the residue, install the shaft with the BB, fits snug, and perfect. Well, good deal. That's what we like to see, man. And there's still snow on the ground in New York, 50 degrees. Well, even if you get to 50 degrees, Emmanuel, I don't see all the snow going away because New York tends to get quite a bit of snow. But hopefully it's the end of it, truly. I believe that. I hope that is too. Michael says, hello, happy Monday, Jim and Robin. And 40-mile-an-hour wind and snow in Montreal. Yes. Pinehurst is a memorable round. Yes, it is. And it doesn't matter which one, right? They're all got to be fun. I'd really try to take on that par 3. What's it? It's not called the chain. It's called something else. But that would be fun. I wonder if they're still doing I remember of course, I've never been. I've been to the clubhouse, but I've never been. But I guess back in the day, they used to have a croquet area. I don't know if that got taken over by the par 3 or not. Okay. Common Man, finally got to meet you both at the show. Well, it was nice meeting you too, bud. Don't be a stranger when we're down there. Mark Nat says hello. Charlie says, welcome back. Thank you. If I don't have this, it would have been a perfect round. But, the funny part is, didn't have it until the end of Saturday. We had 5 hours left. I got home, and I felt like I got beat with a stick. And I don't know what it was. I slept 2 solid days and still got it. I don't know. Scott, what do you say? Jim Rob finally received the Elite Fitting heads, irons, and woods. They're clean, aren't they? I mean, I like them. Now, I think the Elite heads are going to perform well, okay? Now, I will say, as you guys listened on the previous live streams, that I got to talk to Ping, so I got a little bit of, I won't say insider knowledge, but I got what the rep would normally tell people. And this guy seemed to be very knowledgeable. He was a corn husker, so I trust him. And so it turned out it was a really good one. I don't see Ping making a world beater, but like I was telling him, here's how it normally goes. Titleist lets go of their stuff. Everybody rushes over to Titleist because it's a good-looking club. They hit it, and within a week or two, the hype dies down, right? And then here comes Callaway. Callaway throws it out there, and their marketing machine keeps the hype up. But somewhere in the middle of all that, TaylorMade releases theirs to try and get in on some of that wave. And then after that, you'll see Ping, Wilson, Mizuno, that kind of stuff, because they know they don't have the marketing machine that TaylorMade and Callaway have. So it'll be Callaway be very far. TaylorMade does pretty good, or equal. And then Ping comes in there, especially in the LST, and does really, really well. Titleist is a close 4th. Mizuno's a close 5th. Wilson's a close 6th. At least if you look in the last bit of the My Golf Spy testing, Wilson's been found in the middle of the pack. One of the Mizuno drivers just above it, and then those last 4 are always fighting for supremacy. But somewhere in there, it'll be Callaway takes first place for maybe one swing speed, TaylorMade does another one, and maybe even Titleist on another. So that's where that goes. All right. Oh, I said all that about the drivers. The irons are massively better looking in the previous generations. The blue in the smoke and the dark blue in the Paradigm, I think they're cool, don't get me wrong. But from a traditionalist standpoint, these are nice. These are super duper nice. And there's 4 kinds of that. There's an HL, a standard, a Fast Max, and an X. I got to figure out the X is. I'm going to assume that's more players like. But at a really, I looked at them for a second, and it looked like the X had maybe a little bit more offset. So maybe it's not like the Triple Diamond. The X is the one with more offset and getting you out there. So more like the X of the driver. That makes more sense to me. And then if you wanted a Triple Diamond counterpart, you'd have to go to the Apex. All right, my dog Rex says thumbs up. And again, thank you for reminding me again. If you would like and subscribe, hit that like button up there so we get more of this information out. Because we're going to do videos on our visits, because I do have a couple of OEMs. I'm going to chop it down to more digestible stuff, make it a little bit more entertaining, so we can get there. A little bourbon to get that bug out. I just cannot shake that. If my nose wouldn't run, Charlie, I'd be okay. As I cough. Here's a gross story. I'm sorry to gross you out, but it's too funny. I go to the doctor's room today, and the nurse goes, "So I hear you've been coughing." And of course, I'm wearing a mask because they tell you got to. And I go, "Oh, hold on a second." And I pull my mask off, and I go, "Sorry for being so gross." And I go to cough, and this big ball of phlegm comes flying out. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I went and got it, and all she did was laugh. The nurse laughed. So apparently she's seen that 1 or 2 times. All right. Travis K says, cold season seems to be really bad this year. Everyone got something, feel better. Well, we did. I got, the doc gave me something, and we'll start taking it here shortly. Feel bad for Yonex. Not too much traffic in their booth again this year. Bad business model. Your thoughts? Well, Yonex suffers from kind of bad history, I think. I don't think the product is bad. I went by and I saw it, and they actually would sell components. So if you're interested in getting into components with OEMs really easy, this would be the place to go, right? And that gets you started, at least to get your foot in the door. As you saw, I was hanging around Efren a couple of times. He was in there and he was getting all excited about it. And so I figured if he can get into it, a lot of people can. So it was pretty fun. There's Krista. Hello from Sweden. Hello. I don't know if you watched the last video, Krista. Did you see I had 2 Swedish candies? I think we still got 1 or 2 of them in the bag. Did I eat them? Oh, go dig in.
I'm not digging.
It was
Gummies?
no, it was chocolate covered toffee, and man, oh man, was it good. The other one was a chewy Dumal, and I can't remember the other one. Man, they were good though. That's why I talked to that guy with the golf product. He was nice.
And you didn't share.
Because you were sleeping.
Oh, yeah, I did fall asleep.
All righty. Thank you. Have you got what hit? It's just a matter of time, Charlie.
No.
Matter of time.
No, look what I wrote.
I'm too mean to get sick. Well, that's a fact.
Not.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We go like this.
I did.
All right. Stephen Lowe from Tennessee finally got back to play after 3 weeks. Temps are in the 40, then 37, shot 80, 79. I think that should take 3 weeks off more often. Yeah. Tend to get a little less frustrated with yourself. Scott says, interesting. We have left-handed elite and demo ironheads. I got the Apex. I swear, dude, I don't know. The way these things are being handled is, shall we say, less than adequate. All righty. The funny part about it is they know I'm left-handed. So I got my, because I'm on staff, I got my driver head in a little bitty box. And it's a neat little box because it comes with a club head cover. And then I got 2 more left-handed drivers in another box, another little box. As I got this big, ginormous fitting box with all these driver shafts and 2 right-handed heads. 2.
Left-handed.
No, there are 2.
Well, these are all right.
I know. And they got,
Big box on
so we get all these, all this stuff. It was like it packaged at the last minute. They could have saved so much money. All right. Oh, everyone hit and like subscribe button. Thought I'd help you out. Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah. You hold them. It was funny because it was purely by accident that I was doing that good with that bucket golf, but it was so much fun. And then we get the little LED kit that you can put in the buckets, and you can actually put them in the balls so you don't lose them. It was pretty cool. All right, that's the end of that. We'll see what goes on now. Okay, what can you tell me about the Acura I-Series shaft? I bought a PXG Gen 2 hybrid with this shaft in X stiff, but I can't find any info on it. It's from Golf Clubs for Cash. Well, here's the thing.
Is it a hybrid shaft or is it an iron shaft?
Well, if it's a hybrid, yeah, they'll come in flexes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the I-Series shaft, Krister, is pretty much is Acura's standard line, right? Whether it be irons, hybrids, fairway woods, or even drivers. It's slightly more stiff in the butt than it has been in previous models. It will most likely feel pretty soft in the tips section, but keep in mind this was a hybrid shaft made for hybrids, not just a really long iron shaft. So dynamically, it should play it'll play pretty similar to the driver. I know you don't have one in the driver, and if you use the shafts that you like, I would hit it to be sure, but I think you're going to think that it feels soft and you might air it out. But if your timing is on, it'll be an absolute giant. There we go. How's those winter shorts working out? 3 to 7 days. Okay. Bet you're chopping it a bit waiting for those clubs. Well, he doesn't have to. Him chopping at the bit, Charlie, is all he can do, because if you saw his Instagram post, he dropped his skillet on his finger, and apparently, and it's all swole up. He didn't make his TaylorMade fitting because he jacked up his forefinger. Yeah, let him tell you about that one. So that's what happens when you put it out there, Krister. We figure it out. Warm today, Charlie. They were brilliant. 35 mile endurance, toasty warm. Yeah. Peter says, hello, received his Shogun shaft, however, hit it everything right, no extra distance, so leaning on going back to the Newton shaft. Okay. Everything right. Oh. A little up. Okay. Burr. It's Jack. It's Jim. It's Jack from Troon. What do you say, bud? Glad to see you back on here. Those shorts have hair on them. Yeah, it's just like when you get the not the vice, not the
Visors?
the visors with the hair on them, the flares. Kent gets the ones that got hair on them on the shorts.
Leggings.
There you go.
Hairy leggings.
Give over, Robin. It's not cold here, 2 degrees when I was playing. Haha. Fully shaved. All right, Peter wants to know, is Action releasing a new shaft 2025? They weren't here to ask, Peter, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's Efren, Bloody Mary. That's what we were trying to figure out. I'm glad one of us figured it out. Frank figured it out too. It's tequila. There you go. Efren.
Charlie says it's a bloody bull if it's tequila.
Oh, okay. I don't know what goes into it. I've never had one.
It sounds about right.
Their head covers are great. Apart, they need a sock to protect the shaft. Yeah, you know, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. Jack Troon, can I fit a graphite shaft into an old what? I'll have to wait. I'll come back through here in a minute, I'm sure. Past weekend I had demo fitting with Cobra, tested the DS Adapt Hybrid, the LS driver, 3 degrees with the Ventus Blue HBX. Wow. But 450 is insane. Well, it's those doggone shafts that you're into, Krister. You're getting up into these. You're getting up into the pricey area now. Everyone, glad you got back home safely. Thank you, sir. Hopefully, it sounds like you did too. Krister, what's your impression of the ADAP? Is that all that in a bag of chips? Well, let's find out. Give up your terrible. I know why Robin does the gripping. You're not wrong. Except for she doesn't use air. She uses this. She's old school like me. That when you see me do it there and what little bit you see me do here, that's it. We do it by the old school method, but it's always fun. It's always fun to try it out. Whereas I always ask her to grip my clubs. That's a good thing. The LS driver was really nice. 455cc, 6 meter long carry with a standard shaft compared to my GT shaft upcharge is twice as much. Thank you. Hey, I can breathe. Okay. It does. It did sound like that. And the thing is, it echoes everywhere. When you go do that stuff, it echoes for 2 and 3 aisles over. It's funny. All right. Allow you to dial into your liking. I would imagine, yes. Yes, we race boys. Any new tools at the show? Not one. Not one. There's no tool makers at the show. Oh wait, there was one. No, well, that was one, but there was a tool there to measure golf ball compression. That was all they had. Outside of that, nothing. And I think we figured out where we were when you saw us. We were on the putting green with Makefield. All righty. Is it possible to fit a graphite shaft in my old McGregor 3 wood as it has whipping where the shaft enters the head? Ooh. It depends on how old the McGregor is, Jack. Okay. In the era of steel and age, the original shafts that went into it, because imagine we're going from wood and then we go to steel. And the original shaft diameters were actually called 270 or 295, which is teeny weeny, right? And that was hard to deal with. And as you got newer, those shafts started to die out, okay? And the 335s gained their popularity. So if you have a much newer one, a newer 3 wood, and it's a 335, then yeah, you can do it. And now it will be problematic because on a wood, you cannot, and let me say it again, you cannot just heat it up and pull it out like you would anything else. You need a heating rod that will go down the length of the rod, and you got to heat up this rod, about this much of it, which is about 2 inches, and you got to put it in there and let it set. You got to do it again, and you got to do it again. You got to do it again. You got to do it again. You got about 5 or 6 times, or get that thing really nice and warm. And you got to ever so slightly pull this thing out. Because of its age, there's a huge possibility of breaking that hosel area. Keep in mind, it's all one piece now, right? There's a big possibility. How much of it? Who knows, right? And then when you pull that back out, let's say you chip off a little bit. Does that make it bad? No. You can put a piece of wood back on it, or take that same piece of wood and glue it back in and then whip over top of it, okay, and still have the same amount. But yeah, you can do it. It just, you got to, again, if it's a newer wood. If it's an older wood, the answer is no. Could you drill it out? Yes, but the hosel wall thickness, even back in the day, at the very top was massively thin. And to go out to 335 would probably rip up probably the top 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch easy. So you got to watch that. I'm saying, hey, Frank, Golf Addict, how are you? Cheers. And cheers to everyone else. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Krister says, it did work for me. They didn't have an 8-degree head, so they can adjust 2 degrees up and down. But you need to close or open the face a little bit. Okay. Let's talk, Rick. Sounds promising. All right, if you would have taken the money too, it secures the kids and their kids' future. Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
Okay. Robinson, hello. I'm thinking I'm buying the driver later on. Oh, come on, dude. You haven't even had a chance to wear out your other driver yet. I'm rolling around in my head. If you get it, let me know how it goes. There you go. What were your thoughts on the RTZ wedges? Love them. Look and feel like my Muro wedges. Well, I do like the look of them too, Efren. I think the newer one, these are, we abuse the word a little bit too much, but I believe this time around that the RTZ is a much cleaner looking club. There's a lot open. I don't need a whole bunch of crud on my wedge. And not like you can see it when you're swinging it, but it's twofold. I don't need all that fancy stuff. And if somebody wanted to personalize it, it makes it just really, really easy. What I really liked about it was the sole grinds. The standard one was very, very nice. I think that could work for quite a few. But I do like the mid. The mid looked more utilitarian to me than anything. And you could use that across the board. Did they really send you a $650 that scratched? Shame on them. Well, now that I've seen it, I don't know. Again, I apologize. I just got to get rid of it. Otherwise, it'll stay in my.
Dude, move on.
You need to slow your roll.
My job is to keep you rolling.
It's not scratched. That's the way it came painted. When I remember, I realized that it's part of the. Yeah, it's part of the paint job. I thought that was a scratch because it just looked kind of funky, but that's actually part of the paint job. So no, they didn't. But I'd be on the same thing. I could have buffed it out just as easily, but they did not. All right. Didn't like the look of the Epic Flash driver. The Epic Flash is a little bit over the top. I like these though. There's not a whole lot wrong with it. And they call it the Elite, just so you know. They call it the Elite, this ELYTE, as a homage to Ely Callaway. All right, ELY. Ely Callaway is he's the godfather of Callaway. Hence, Ely Callaway Golf.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they went. Okay. Well, if it was flashy in the colors, it was. I mean, I don't mind the green. I just don't like a lot of it. I like it as a nuance to the black. You notice I have an AI Smoke 9 to test. I hate the sound. Yeah, it sounds kind of clunky. Then that Alex guy that I was telling you about earlier, he did a sound comparison, and it was funny. I could hear it, and I could tell which one was which. Hello from a sunny, warm Calgary. Hope your trip to Florida was fun and full of great food and beverage. We did eat some pretty good places. You guys returned home in one piece. We did, and I brought a little bug with me, too. Yes, Alex Etches. That's the guy. I don't know why he's not more popular, but I like his sense of humor. And he hits the ball a freaking ton. But yeah, I don't know. He's more player like he can read from the script just as well as anybody, but he's very, very creative. And when you get out there and you're playing golf like that, why not? But yeah, I like what he was saying. So if you go back and you do the Elite versus the Smoke, and you'll be able to hear the differences. There's Lawrence. Hey, got a new picture. Ancient in my case, yeah. Aged, is that like old fart? That's very much like it, but I was just trying to be politically correct to an extent. That's what we all are, Charlie. Yes, I would say. And he's happy to be. The cradle, that was the one. You're right. The chain is somewhere else because they were trying to copy it. It's another upper end one. I don't know if it's down in, where would it be? On the East Coast, a little further down, maybe in Florida. Paul Van Vliet, welcome back. Thank you, sir. The cradle, thank you, sir. That's it. No. Charles, brother, in rugby, it's called alakazoos. Get to wear shorts after 70, but you can't hit or tackle us. Yep. Prospector Pete, just listening in this time. Okay, buddy. Can't say I do, not as nice as my blades, but they're good looking for sure. Yes, they are. makes a decent looking one too. They do make a nice blade. I do have it. But if you're if you don't draw the ball or if you play a natural fade, you wouldn't like them because they are definitely open. They're definitely a fade bias club. Peter says they still have the croquet pitch. Okay, very cool. Staff blade is pretty. It very much is. Did they send you right-handed or left-handed shafts? Well, I'm still wondering. I asked them about that earlier. I asked them all if they were right-handed, and they all kind of looked at me like, what? I figured that was one way of starting off the conversation for sure. They did, Kent. Not anymore, but they did. Yes, they did. They actually wound them up in the other direction. Then after they put them together so well, I think they just found out they didn't need to worry about it. Neil, any thoughts on the Max or the Align Max and True Temper Icon grips? Anything like you would see to improve what's currently on the market? So I do have a couple of icons, and I did see them with grips on. They were at the Acra Demo Day. And if you want a grippier Tour Velvet, the icon is that. Okay, it's I find that if you go into the butt or the cap section of the grip on the Golf Pride, it's a little more rounded and flows into the grip a little bit better. Where the icon is squared off with just that little bit of a chamfer and a harder cap section, and then it goes down. And I believe the taper is very similar, but what happens is that once it gets put on the shaft, the patterns expand bigger, and when it does that, it creates a bigger grip section, so it's grippier. Okay, pardon me. Now the Align Max, I did not see any of those. I got to see Jumbo Max, and got to see Jumbo Max, and their big deal this year was some extra putter grips, which I really enjoyed. Some longer ones, and that one that was from the Palm Bird group, where it was very tall, so you put your hand on it. Both it was you're holding your hand open like this in order to putt like that. I don't know if I could do that, but it's an interesting concept. But the bigger, longer ones were out there too. I like that one. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate it, buddy. Steve Ditzler, good luck with the cold. Thank you. Glad you showed the final day of the show was interesting. Anyone ever made an iron set with the SG has anybody ever made an iron set with the shaft down the middle backside of the club? If you're talking about, like, for instance, let's do this. Hey. If you're talking about putting it back here, the answer is no, because it would be illegal. There are rules to club design, and that's one of the no-nos. It's got to have a hosel. It's got to go in the end of the club, and there's rules of how far away in the whole 9 yards. Ken says the whipping part is easy. It's just like tying a fly or a hook or a fly. Difficult part is, as you say, getting the wood off the head. Yeah, it takes a little bit. If you've not done it, I used to call it, what we did when we were fishing way back in the day, I used the hangman's noose, and that's what I would use it to tie it. Now, that was okay because you could always snip it off or cut it off. On the back of the whipping, you got to be a little more strategic in order for it to look good, but it's very similar. I was talking about Rick Shields taking live cash. Oh, I didn't know that he did. That would probably be one of the reasons of his. There's some talk about a lot of the golfers on YouTube not raising in popularity as much as they were in the past. It's almost like there was a ceiling there. Of course, Rick is the pinnacle of it right now with so many viewers that he's got. So I don't know. Steve wanted to know, Robin, what's going on, and she answers, and that she does. 5 years left to be 50. Oh my God, dude. Really? That you're still in the puppy dog phase. Good luck with Robin. Must have been a full-time job. And it was. I'll admit it was. But though this was this has been the first show in many, many years where we didn't have to stop at the CVS pharmacy that is between us or where we stay and the show. Typically, for one reason or another, whether it's for her breaking her leg or broke her foot or needs something so that the colds are coming on or Band-Aids from walking around, all that kind of stuff. We just did not stop this time around.
We did the Minute Clinic one year.
Yeah, but that wasn't there. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
In one of my videos, I noticed that I just missed the pass with Nancy Lopez. I would love to have talked to her. I bet that would have been a lot of fun. I would have bet that would have been a lot of fun to talk to him. And you notice while we were talking, Efren, that I noticed I looked up and Roger Cleveland was walking by. He didn't have his badge on. Okay, yes, that's where I retired from the range so I could follow him full time. Yes. Had a meeting with Mira at the Hyatt and Gawain. Invited me to True Temper Suite. There you go. Robert De Leon. Uh-oh, we got a martial artist. Okay. I'm looking for new shafts for my old Nike CPR hybrids. I would like to stick with Nippon. I have those on Maltbys in an S Pro 950s. Well, they do. If you have a 950, you're going to want it to be something a little bit taller. They do make a hybrid shaft, Robert. And I can't remember the name of the thing. It was a hybrid, and it was a steel shaft with this coating on the outside. It almost felt like a sticky velvet. That's a bad. Remember the grip, the old Ping Pro grip or the Pro Only grip, and it looked like it had no tact on it, but it was really smooth looking. But when you grabbed it, it did. That's what it felt like. I wish I could remember the name of it, but they do have it. Now, if you like the 950 Pro, you probably won't like that one because it's a little bit more towards the Modus end instead of the 950 end of it. So they must have one more. Do you know if they've got a hybrid shaft?
Who are we talking about?
Nippon. You weren't listening to me?
No, I was answering to people.
So hybrid shaft Nippon.
I've never seen one.
They got one. But I don't think it would be there. If you like that one, and the fact that it's steel, you're going to probably want to go to graphite in order to get that little extra kick. Steve wants to know, how is that working, Robin? Do you get paid, or is Jim just smiling at you more? Yes. And legislate 10. 10 million? 10 million pounds to do what? To go play with them? I mean, some of the lower end guys, or go and talk about them real nice. Although, you know what? The people that back him are from that same area. That was a big deal for a while. What was it called? Studio 56 or something like that? I don't remember. But it was about a year ago. They figured out both him and Finch were both under the same studio label. and it was out of Saudi. Jesse says, dang, almost missed your show. Rick sold out to live. I think his viewer base will shrink. Most likely. YouTube fans really don't like they really don't like guys that are going to talk about golf clubs, that talk about golf clubs that are sponsored, because they think it will give them a bias towards one model or another. And in Rick's defense, he's used several different kinds of whatever's worked. You can tell what he gravitates towards, but that's just what he likes. The minute he took on a real club sponsor, he paid for it initially, and he knew that was a bad thing. So he had to write out the contract, and then he got done with it. Outside of that, I like to see what this is going to do. Anything interesting for senior golfers?
At the show.
There was, I believe there was a shaft that Acker was putting out that might work very, very well for senior golfers. I have to go back and look at it. I remember it having a little extra kick so that it can get out and about. Just like I was talking about here in the Callaway, if you're looking to gain a little bit of club head speed, the Fast Max is the way to go. It's lighter, got the same bounce, the whole 9 yards, in both irons and drivers. Mark, the only thing I really saw that I had to have was that bucket ball. Honestly.
Probably needed a rangefinder.
Yeah, that or the rangefinder. But outside of that, not really. Well, one thing I was really impressed with was the Makefield putter that I was using, that Defiant. I was really taken back by how good the feel was off of it. And I got to talk to John McGinnis about it. And he is an anti-techno guy. He just like, if it feels good and I make the hole, that's what I want. And I said, well, which one did you get? And I think he got the original Fang-looking one. And he goes in there. So there you go. Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that.
Sure what? Oh, YouTube losses.
Yeah. Redhead says, hello. Dave Brzezowski. Warmer in Michigan. Jim, is your opinion on the new driver shaft? Which driver shaft do you think will make the most impact? Well, for me, there is a Acura shaft that's coming out that's going to replace the TZs. And they're going back to their Tour Z standard, of which I thoroughly enjoy. It's super duper stable, and it does not feel coarse, okay? And it will stay with a lot of good swings. Krister could use it. I mean, I can use it. In fact, I used a Tour Z while we were out there, and kept it in play quite a bit. That was that one. As far as driver shafts, there wasn't a whole lot of driver shafts there to talk about. Not yet, but she will.
I will what?
Get sick.
I will not.
He's an ambassador. Okay, we'll see what that means. Here's the bourbon part. We'll see what happens there.
Sure.
Woo!
Put in the tea.
Performance 54. Well, I wasn't too far off. You were welcome, Robert. Yeah, that's just the beginning with it, though. No doubt. All right, John Lamb. Thoughts on the even flow Riptide fairway hybrid shafts? Have a Strixon with a shaft in it. Seems to work, though I hook it a lot. Well, then if you hook it a lot, it's not working very good, John. I mean, let's just go with that. The Riptide, I never was a fan. It tried to come off as this woven shaft, and it really just was not. I think that there's something else out there that's better. I really do. But the old Riptides, I was not a fan. I got one more here. Rick should play a match against the live players. I agree. All righty, Mr. McGolf's telling me it's time to go. My voice is almost done. So again, guys, thanks for staying up with me. Thanks for asking the questions. And I'll try and get this videos out so that we have something to watch. And we got lots of testing to do, so there'll be lots of that to talk about. And fittings all weekend long. Oh, great. So as usual, guys, let your scores go low.